This was what happened in 1970. He was a medically challenged boy, a Lebanese descendant, and always having difficulties in reading and writing because of his condition called dyslexia. He took a business risk one day, walked into a bank, and requested a loan of $5,000 to start a business. Ever since then, he has made over $2 billion from that single decision he took. Who is he? What happened after he took that loan? What business did he venture into with just $5,000 of that time? Ready to learn how great businesses are built? Welcome! This is DollarPreneur TV. Do not forget to give your thoughts. It all started sometime around 1970, amidst the dynamic atmosphere of Los Angeles, where his father and grandmother operated clothing stores. Orfalea's early education was far from smooth. In high school, he majored in woodshop, a subject that suited his hands-on learning style. His academic performance, however, was often dismal. 2 C's, 3 D's, and an F were typical grades. My grades, they are terrible. It's not my fault. I wish I do better than this. I am saddened, but I won't give up. Orfelea flunked 2 grades and was expelled from several schools. It was as bad as that, but he was very strong in his thoughts. The origin of his failures? Orfelea had a tough time with reading and writing from an early age because of dyslexia, a learning disorder characterized by difficulty in reading, which mostly occurs in children with normal vision and intelligence. That was why he always failed in school. So, the condition made school difficult for him. Despite this, he was still a smart boy. His thoughts were always like, I feel like giving up on school. I am fed up. I wish to do well in my exams, but this condition could have held him back. But with a supportive family, he didn't give up. Even though the school back then didn't know how best to help him, Orfelea saw his dyslexia not as a barrier, but as something that made him think differently. So, instead of focusing on his weakness, he focused on the surrounding needs. What could he do to help himself out? Determined to rise above his challenges, Orfelea attended the University of Southern California. His journey was not always without setbacks. Even to pass through the university was like a challenge to him. To even get jobs around after that was so hellish. He was fired from several jobs because he got bored easily. However, his family's support was steadfast, driving his ambition to create his own business. So, he thought of starting a business, but he had no capital and little plan. That was when he approached a Bank of America for a $5,000 loan. At least if I couldn't do well in school or as a worker, I could do well in business, he thought to himself. The loan was granted because the manager saw a special ability and passion in him. He named his small new business Kinkos, which was derived from a nickname given to him. He was affectionately called Kinko because of his curly red hair. Kinko was a playful reference to the kinks in his hair, which was making him popular, and he chose to name his business after this nickname. That's smart thinking. This promoted his popularity. The same year, he set up the first store that he rented in a small garage near the University of California at Santa Barbara. This little shop had a big machine to copy papers, a special printer for making lots of copies at once, and some school stationers for students like papers and pens. When the shop got more customers, they put the big copy machine outside so people could use it by themselves and pay him inside. People willingly do that, thereby building his strong network. It was not easy, but the entrepreneurial spirit in him kept him strong. Kinko's debut wasn't just about copying. It was a game changer for students. Even though positioned near the University of California at Santa Barbara, Kinko's became a hub for easy and affordable services, a stark contrast to the high costs students faced elsewhere. Paul Orfalea's vision was clear: deliver great value, help students save, and ensure the service was both friendly and convenient. He too was loved by students because of the way he related with them, giving them words of encouragement and motivating them. That was more than what they needed at that time. He won their hearts. This formula wasn't just successful only, it laid the groundwork for the massive growth Kinkos would see in the years to come. The student community began to know him more, he gave values, and he got good feedback. The business now demands much more time. He thought of expansion, but he needed more hands. Also, more ideas to finance new locations. He kept on recycling his profits. He was enjoying his new business setups until this happened. Now he needed to cover more areas because there were more demands. Students travel from far places to come for his services. How would he expand easily? He got home, he couldn't sleep, and was thinking fast. Then, an idea came over. "Yeah, this should work, let me try it!" He jumped up and shouted in exclamation. The following day, Orfelea took on fellow students that he was familiar with, then scouted the West Coast together. They formed a stronger team. Any school that was more than 20,000 students was their interest. This is where the money likely is. That would be a source of quality traffic that needed our services, they concluded. It wasn't so difficult to get some. Once they found the colleges, the scouts set up shops close to the campuses. To even save money, the student scouts slept in fraternity houses. That was how he built his businesses around his nickname. As Kinko's footprint grew, so did Paul's appetite for risk. He took more risks to keep investing in many strange student arenas that he was not well known. He wasn't one to shy away from unexplored markets or fresh challenges. With each new store and service added, Kinko's morphed, evolving from a mere copy center into a full-fledged business solutions powerhouse. That's exactly what he did. It was a business to beat. Around 1989, they thought of a new business strategy, and it was a game changer. The company began moving away from serving college students. He began targeting small business owners. Kinko's grew rapidly, and by the 1990s, there were 480 Kinko's locations. Kinko's operated 635 stores by 1993, 780 in 1995, and more than 850 by 1997. Orfelea and his partners sold a large stake in the company to a private equity firm and later bought the rest of Kinko's in 2003. The following year, it was sold to FedEx. The deal was valued at about $2.4 billion, and the firm was later renamed FedEx Kinko's and then FedEx Office. Today, Paul's net worth is above $2 billion, making him one of the richest men of Lebanese descent and one of the richest men in the world, which is a result of the gains and pains he passed through from building his business that started with just $5,000, while focusing on his strength rather than his weakness. Paul, reflecting, what started in a garage with a simple machine has changed the way we all do business. Join us in the next series of The King of Money. I promise it's going to be an explosion. This is brought to you by DollarPreneur TV.